Okay, let's go.
Episode 3. It's fall, y'all.
Alrighty.
Happy Friday morning.
Happy Friday. And as y'all can see, it's fall, y'all.
It is. Today's the first official day.
No, it's not. It's tomorrow.
Okay,
Like,
well,
it
according
was
to the
all
calendar.
over the news today.
Oh.
And I was like, and I remembered you saying that to me yesterday. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's a perfect, way to start our show. And then they were like, the first day of fall is officially tomorrow. So
Oh.
anyhow, are you loving this weather? Like, what are your thoughts?
I'm a winter baby. My birthday's in December.
Mm.
And I enjoy this time of year.
I
I get to pull out the boots, the fur coat,
the fur,
the
real
sweaters.
fur, faux fur.
No, real baby.
Okay. Oh, excuse me, honey. I'm just trying to be like Nishan when I grow up, so I can give you some real fur. Because I'm straight up with the faux fur over here, and I'm perfectly
Listen, I have
perfectly
some too,
fine with it.
So I mean, who doesn't love a good faux fur vest?
Yeah, I think PETA would have something to say to you about your real fur, Nishan.
One of my
Animal cruelty.
One of my best friends told me, he was like, "You need to be careful being around certain people who will deem that inappropriate to wear." I was like, "Well, I mean."
But then I'm like, if you
It was
have
a gift.
if you have an issue with like us wearing animals because of the nature of how they're, I guess, killed,
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's the process that they don't like. Because I know that there are some people that eat meat
Mm-hmm.
and have handbags that are made out of animals. So I mean, I just wonder, like, how far are these PETA people willing to take it? Like, don't come attack me, PETA. I'm just saying, like, unless you're going to be consistent across the board, like, relax. Just relax. Yeah, just relax. But anyhow.
Yeah. So what else is going on? What's the latest?
Well,
since we met
let
last
me
time?
just say this. Tennessee did not freaking win. So way to go, Tennessee. Way to not play up to your potential in the freaking South. And I get, historically, we have lost more than we've won at Florida. But I really did think that we had it in us. And no, like, everybody wanted to blame the refs. You can't blame the refs for these boys just not playing. Like, that's just all that it is. And so I'm not wearing my orange today. And yes, I will go back and forth. And I mean, I might be a fair weather fan. Okay. But they pissed me off. And I just didn't have it in me to support today. So that's where I'm at with that.
I have a little bit of orange on today.
I'm glad somebody does, because
just a tad right here.
Just a tinge. That's all they're getting. Just a tinge of support today, until y'all can show us that you guys are, like, y'all want to play and y'all want to be there. Like, I just I got to move on from that, because that was disappointing.
It seems like it's rather painful, but I can understand. I mean, my poor husband, he was like, let's just watch something else, because he was like, they're not gonna win.
Oh, I
And
definitely
he was
stopped
like, they
watching.
do this every year.
Every freaking, it's
He
so
was like-
exhausting.
He was like, it's like they just kind of fold and they just give up the game. He was upset, and I was just kind of saying, I'm sorry.
I know.
And I thought about you.
What a good wife.
was
I'm
like-
sorry. Would you like to go do something else? Yes, we
But
would
his
like to
Cowboys
have
won.
all the drinks in the world. Once again, the Black families team.
The Cowboys won the next day, so that made it all well in the world of football for my husband. So he was in his world.
You'll have to keep me up to date, because I don't watch professional NFL football. I actually don't even watch college football, other than when UT is playing somebody. But other than that, I could care absolutely less. Now, basketball is a different story. I'm here for some basketball, but
I will say, Krista, I am inclined to go to a game with you.
oh my gosh.
I wouldn't mind going.
Let's do that. We should do the homecoming game. That's always a fun time for Knoxville around here, homecoming. It's just, here's the thing. We typically know we're going to win, because we don't play a good team. And then also, just like, a lot of my friends come back in town to support and just kind of tailgate, and it's just a good vibe. Let's do that one.
Okay, just
we got to look for some tickets. I hope they're not crazy overpriced. I'm sure they are.
Keep me informed.
I shall. I'll let you know as we go along.
So what else is going on? What's the latest since we met up last time? Anything else happening?
Well, I did go to without you. I went to Stir without you, Stir
Oh,
Knoxville without you.
so
And
tell
it
us.
was such a vibe, everybody. Like, I recommend everyone get down there. Just the aesthetic of the entire environment, the space, like, it's just really cool, modern, has a hipster vibe. I don't know, hipster vibe. Yeah. Um, but it's just super cutesy. The drinks are good. The food was really good. I went there for
What did you think about the
brunching.
brunch?
I got the was it shrimp and crabs Benedict,
Hmm.
and I thought I was not gonna like it's a fried shrimp, so I was a little thrown off by that, but it was very tasty. The shrimp and grits is what I'll be getting next time because that is what it was between those two that the guy recommended. Because I was like, I don't know which one I want. I love a good shrimp and grits, and so yes, we'll have to go. I went without you, but it was good.
Well, I saw that you had mentioned it on Instagram, so I was like, "Oh yay, she
I know
went, and it looks nice down there." Not,
it's
I said, "Okay."
it's.
It didn't. Can I say it doesn't even look like
I
Knoxville?
know. Way to go,
Just
Knox
saying.
Vegas, Knox Vegas.
Well,
We're coming up. I think we're coming up.
speaking of that,
Mm,
I happened to see an article that was on Facebook. It was on the Knoxville Centennial, and they were talking about how Knoxville is becoming more and more popular. But can I tell you some of the comments that I read? They weren't very inviting. A lot of people
really?
had some negative comments to say. A lot of
Like
people are
what?
not happy about Knoxville growing.
Oh,
Um,
residents currently here. I understand, but there's
some
two
people
sides to every story.
some people were making comments like, don't move here. We're full
Oh
already. Find
Jesus.
someplace else to go. The traffic is not like it used to be. People were complaining about the prices are going up on everything, and then a lot of people talked about voting. That was very interesting to see the comments. A lot of people have this notion that Tennessee is going to eventually change and turn blue. So that was
Well,
very
we
interesting to read the comments, and I just read and kept scrolling. But
well,
it's interesting because I am not from Knoxville, but one of the things I did say was that Knoxville's changing, but it's going to be interesting to see how the change is received. And you have some people that are very happy to see that Knoxville is growing, but then on the other hand, you have some people that are not happy to see it.
and
So
I think that for anyone who lives a life where you're just okay with stagnation and you don't like change, that's you need to work on yourself personally. Like, you need to learn how to grow and adapt to the changes of the environment. You can have your standards, your morals, like that you have in your household, and you can have your own beliefs, and you can have whatever political affiliation you want to have. However, to stop progression of a city that you live in and to want it to thrive and to do better and to become a city where, yes, it's providing more inclusion and opportunities, and there are options for people to do, whether it's sporting, whether it's retail, whether it's eating out, dining, shopping. These are all great things for a city. And step it up if you feel like you can't make it out here. Do better for yourself, or go move to, I don't know where you need to move, but go to some
you
little
know,
rinky dink place where there's not a lot of people. But
it could
I'm here for it. Like,
it
bring
could
it on.
it could be worse. You have some cities that are people are leaving,
Right.
and they don't have anyone there, and they're begging people to come, and tour, do tourism there and live there. So it could
Right.
be the opposite. It's
Yeah.
almost like you got to pick the poison. Like, how much do you want? I
Well,
mean,
pick and choose your battles. Like, a
that too.
city that's growing, is this what we're really upset about? Or is it people's, like, again, personal preferences that they then want to impose on others and make it seem as if we're the problem? No, we're not the problem. The people who are stuck in the past and refuse to move forward, those people are the problem. Now, if we want to talk about flipping from red to blue, like Georgia did when Biden and Trump are running, I think that's an interesting conversation. I will say this. I don't care what your political affiliation is. I think that I have had times where I agree with the Democratic side. I have had times where I agree with the Republican side.
Mm-hmm.
I can see all perspectives if they make sense to me, right? And how is it going to benefit me and my family? So I think it's natural to have people on different sides of the aisle, and I think that's needed. But I can't say what will happen here in Tennessee. This, as long as I've been here, and I vote in my primaries, I vote. So my local elections, I vote, and my national elections, I vote.
Yeah.
Which your local elections are so incredibly important that that's a whole nother
That,
podcast topic we can do another day,
and we
and
will.
have someone come in here and speak about the importance of your local elections. But yeah, I think that I don't know what will come, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But if people are afraid that because of the changes that are happening in this city will cause their political party to not be the front runner, then welcome to our world, right? I mean, welcome to the other side's world. Think about that. You do have people here that do vote under a democratic status, and if you want to talk about maybe feeling like your vote, I guess, never counts, it could kind of be said, even though it does. I never want someone to think that their vote doesn't count because
That's
that's how
right.
they get you. And
Right.
yes, I say they because we all know who the theys are, right?
Right. Right.
But yeah, it is important, and I don't know what will happen, but I'm here for the growth and the expansion and the inclusion and just whatever else Knoxville has to bring. It's a great city, and I think that's why we're seeing so many people move here. I think I saw what you were talking about. Actually, a mutual friend of ours that posted it, and I saw his post about um, Tennessee being one of the top 10 states, I believe, to like that people are wanting to move to. And so I
I
get it.
I think the other thing that people just I think need to keep in mind is that be open, have an open mind. I think when
It's
you
hard for some people, Nishan.
it
That
is
is like
and
you
it's
can't like
and it's
that is not everybody's like mentality. That's the
and
problem.
and you're right, and I think that's why we have this tug of war.
Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely a conversation that we can always circle back, but I just wanted to bring that up. I thought it was very interesting to see the comments and the things that people had to say, and I just said, my hunch was right. I don't think people are ready for the changes that are coming and that are here.
Yeah.
They're here.
I
So
I just want to like
we'll definitely touch on it.
yeah, but just to go back to your point about people and their comments. Now you and I were having a sidebar off air
Yeah.
conversation the other night. And we have both kind of witnessed or experienced things that we'll see on social media
Mm-hmm.
that people say, and we in a professional space have a hard time understanding. One, don't let your emotions get the best of you on a social media platform.
Absolutely.
That's absolutely
Espe-
insane, and it's like
Especially when you're in
weird vibe,
public.
like weirdo vibes. Like I don't know, why are you talking, like why, how does this make you feel better, like let me get on here and say it. Who does
Well, you
that?
have
So many
people
people do that.
you
It's wild.
you have people that get on the computer and or whatever device they're using, and they use the passive aggression.
Aggressiveness,
Yeah,
yes,
excuse me.
we make our words up here, but I think passive aggressiveness is
Passive
totally a word,
aggressiveness.
but
Yes,
if it's not, whatever.
they get on there and they exert a level of energy that they would not normally
In person,
exert in
have
person.
that same
Correct.
energy on site is
So
what we're saying. Have that same energy,
I am a firm believer of keep the same energy.
girl.
Keep the
But
same that
but
you
they
do.
won't. But they
Keep it in person and keep it on social.
they will not.
That's me.
Yeah, no, they won't do that because that's a way to kind of hide behind,
Right.
and not actually just deal with what you're going through. And
The
I
real
think this
issue.
is
Yeah.
why so many people like
use
even
social media like the personal
but
diary.
but I think even younger generations, like this is really their crutch. Social media. Like my son is such an like he did a video. I kid you not. Now these kids have tablets for school. Honey, I don't know what they're used for other than what these kids just want to do.
Hmm.
However, he had made this super creative like video, and it had like him and his friends in it, and it was moving kind of weird, and I was like, that is super cool actually, and can you come help us edit some videos? Like, it was very impressive, but that's their thing, and that's what's going to be the driver of that generation. They're so technology driven, and I love to see it happening at such a young age for him, because that was not our upbringing. And like now we kind of have to like reinvent ourselves through social media for, work and what have you.
Yeah.
Whereas it comes so natural to these kids, but it's also
That's what they were
something.
born into. I mean,
It is, but it's also something that I think hinders them in a
it
sense
does.
of social
Social skills,
engagement. Like,
yes.
it's
Having
now
a conversation when you're looking someone in their face instead of looking everywhere else other than the person you're talking
I
to.
know. So my girlfriend and I, we go and do Mexican every Tuesday, almost every Tuesday. We take our sons.
They're
They
on the
do
phone.
not talk to each other. They don't talk to each other. Like, we're all talking. And they're just, my son's, he's either got his tablet, he's got my phone, and I'm not any better. I'm sitting here assisting with the problem, right? I'm like, here, like, but like we see that that's just their style and their language of like communicating and interacting. And that's crazy because we had real interaction. So I do force my son to, I have him in sports, and I'll have him in like extracurricular activities. And I do limit like a lot of his stuff at home, because no, you're just not gonna like go outside and play. Like, you're not gonna sit here and just be stuck on a computer. But
Yeah.
it's super wild, super crazy. But anyhow,
Well, we're gonna get into what the fall
yes,
season here in Knoxville, because after all, it's
fall, y'all.
okay. So if you're looking for some events and you want to kind of get out and see what Knoxville has to offer, well, don't forget that there's one last concert on the square.
Oh, is there?
Um,
I haven't made it to any.
it's going to be September the 26th. That's the last one.
Okay.
It's a free event. It's Jazz on the Square. And then, obviously, if you're into football, they have this thing here in Knoxville. It's called Football Fridays. Well,
Oh,
yeah. So,
actually, I don't know if when you sent this to me, I don't think, me of all people, I didn't know about this.
well, see, this is why we're
And I was
sharing
actually like,
it.
dang, okay, Sean.
So October 13th, tailgate early in the on a historic Friday night pep rally, excuse me. Enjoy
No, let's
local
leave it with Pep
food.
Riley.
No, pep rally.
Pep Riley.
Basically, enjoy local food and beer, truck vendors, live music, appearance by UT Spirit teams. So if you're into that type of stuff, Knoxville's having that on Friday, October the 13th. Hence October the 13th. And it's a free event. It'll take place on Market Street between Church and Clinch Avenue, right behind the East Tennessee History
Oh,
Center.
do you like believe in like Friday the 13th?
No,
Like the
but I
whole.
figured I'd just plug it because I know it's a big thing.
I know, I
Hey.
know. I'm like, you know what? Nothing. No, and I'm thank God. Okay, I'm so thankful that God has never allowed anything to happen bad to me on the 13th of Friday the 13th. But anyhow, I always hear people talk about it. I'm like, I mean, I think it's just like the whole like thing
Well, it's the
around it.
Jason thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, first Friday artwork. So they're starting this back up. It's apparently a big thing. It's the first Friday starting October the 6th and November the 3rd. It's basically where downtown galleries and businesses showcase their art.
I love
Um,
that.
and
That is
it's
that type of stuff I love. Is this an outdoor? Is this indoor? It's gotta be
I
indoor,
believe
right?
it's in and out. Maybe it's probably indoor,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a free monthly tradition that has contributed to Knoxville's number 4 ranking for best arts district in the U.S.
Is this
today.
event like free,
It
or
is
is
free.
it's free? That's
It's a free
awesome.
monthly tradition. Yes. So if you're into the arts and you
I'm
want to get
definitely into
out
the
on
arts.
Friday night, you can do that October the 6th and again on November the 3rd during the fall season here in Knoxville. And then the last thing for right now, and we have more that we'll share later, but Pride Fest. Pride Fest is going to take it's going to take us Can I talk today?
take place.
Oh my
That's what I'm
God.
here for.
Take
To be
place.
your
Thank
buffer,
you.
to
Thank
fill it in,
you.
girl.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Pride Fest is going to take place. Thank you. October the 6th through the 8th. Can I get it together?
Yes.
Essentially, you're celebrating the equality of all people at the Knox Pride Fest with a weekend full of events. It will start off with a parade down Gay Street on October the 6th at 7 p.m. And the celebration continues well into Saturday, October the 7th at World's Fair Park from noon to 8 with music performances, food vendors, and more. So if you're interested and want to check that out, that's what's happening.
We actually, so the team that I'm on, the Angie Cody team with EXP Realty, we actually participated 1 year at Pride Fest. We were just a little vendor out there, and it was, I'll say this, it was a very large turnout. It was my first time attending. And I will say everyone was just in such good spirits. It was a very community like feel.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that, regardless of what anyone's preferences are
Right.
in life,
We're all people.
we are all human beings,
Yeah.
and it is not our place to judge anybody. And so I just think that you can, again, not agree, but you don't have to be hateful and harsh and mean just because you don't agree. So anyhow, it was a great event, and I think if you're in Knoxville and free, go out there, check it out, and support everyone in life.
Health and wellness. We're going to give a health and wellness. We're going to inject some health and wellness. If you're into that, which I know a lot of us are, apparently for the month of October.
I don't actually know if that's true because
Really?
I saw a poll today on the news. I watch the news every morning, guys. Um, Shout out to the Today Show because what would I? Good Morning America Good Morning America. My bad. I don't know. I said the Today Show. But anyhow, there was a poll that had been done of the states where obesity had increased by 35%. Guess what state was one of them?
Tennessee.
Tennessee. Tennessee. We have all of these great outdoors. I don't understand what is the issue. And I think it's education. I think it's perhaps maybe people just get overworked and they're exhausted and they're tired, but like you have to prioritize your health.
Yeah.
If you're not in good health, everything else you're doing falls to the wayside. You cannot be on top of your game when it comes to your profession, when it comes to your family, when it comes to like just doing whatever you want to do. I'm not saying you have to be a size zero, whatever, size 6 or something. Be healthy, have a well balanced diet, throw in some vegetables every now and again, right? Go have some activities that you do outside, walking, biking. I really would like to do pickleball. I know that's kind of like a thing that's going around, but I feel like that's like something that it's a good workout and it looks super fun. But like find something that you're interested in because the steps and the habits that you implement now in your life, you are showing your kids if you have them
Yeah.
what their life is going to be. And if you're not being that example, then having these conversations just fall on deaf ears. Like you have to actually do the things. And I think that the health, wellness, mental health, I think that is so talked about, like almost to like too much to the point where I feel like it's just like a buzzword that people want to say because it maybe garners some attention, but like who's actually out there practicing what they're preaching and saying? Like if you're not out there doing something to implement your own health and wellness and mental health, what have, then I don't know. I don't know if I'm like believing it, right? It's just people saying things. But it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, October 1st through October 31st. Have you ever been affected by somebody who's had breast cancer, or do you know anyone? Um,
I know of some people, I know a lot of people who have unfortunately either died from it or have went through it but survived. So it's definitely something that is a huge issue um, that affects many women um, across all ages, all backgrounds, all races. It doesn't matter. It affects people. So very much am aware of it, know about it. I would advise any and all women to go and get their breast exam.
The
Get it
the
done.
the age though, there's unless it's like runs in your family, the
Correct.
standard age is
40.
40.
However, listen to your body. I'm going to say listen to your body because there's several stories that have come out where women felt something didn't seem right, and they
Now,
pressed
yeah,
and they pressed,
yeah,
and the doctors were like, "Oh no." And then it turned into be something bigger than what
right.
anybody would have imagined. So I am a huge proponent of listen to your body, be in tune with your body, and take the time out to do self examinations on yourself. But more importantly, if you have the ability, go and get it done, get it done. Take the time and invest in yourself, and that's part of you know taking care of yourself. So
Yeah.
that's my tip on that, and I would totally, I'll do it. I tell anybody,
Well,
it'll save your life.
I think
It could
early
potentially.
early detection is, I think most physicians, doctors will tell you that that can truly be a life-saving situation just by learning about something sooner rather than later.
Hmm.
And so I think everyone, that word cancer, it affects so many people in this world. I don't think that's one thing that anyone doesn't take seriously, but I do think it's beneficial to have those conversations. Know, when things like the awareness month is for something, so that you are being diligent and just checking back in with your body, checking in with yourself, and making sure everything's good.
The other thing that we have that's going to take place in October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. That's also a time where we recognize those that have been a victim or may have perished because of it. So we'll definitely remember those people during that time. Um, so, yeah, I mean, those are some of the things that I thought about for health and wellness. I mean, you've already touched on some other things. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Do
I,
you have a tip for our viewers about real estate and what you think they should be mindful of?
okay. So, in reference to,
Your real estate tip.
yeah, in reference to like if someone has done an improvement on their home that separates their house from other houses that have sold perhaps within like a 0.25 mile radius, at that time you can say, I'd like to take the recommended and we're going to increase it by, X amount of dollars. Normally, if a seller has like receipts of what they've done, that does help because we can put that onto the sales price.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, you want to follow whatever the market is dictating your home's value to be. And so I'm simply saying to anyone in a position who is looking to list their home, take the advice and the counsel of your real estate agent seriously,
Yeah.
because it serves you no purpose to list your house for $20,000 more than what's recommended if it really doesn't have that additional value, and then we have to price drop it in a week, and it makes your house look less desirable and less attractive to a buyer because their agent is going to see. That's the first thing I look at. If I see that there has been a price drop within a week, I'm probably telling my buyer that we'll have some room for negotiations here, because you did not land on a solid number and stand on that. And your agent basically had to go back and make the adjustments to get your house some action. Because what happens is, you know, people have agents and they're going to run those, CMAs, and they're going to assess if the home is worth that. And if it's not,
Yeah.
then guess what? they're not going to they're not going to offer you what you're asking. And I think it just creates like disappointment in the seller. And so overall, listen to your agent. We get it's an emotional process. I think That's normal and that's fine,
Mm-hmm.
but don't let the emotion lead you into doing something that could really um, not benefit you in the end as a seller. So yeah, that's my little tidbit.
Good tip. Good tip. I'll segue real quick into my mortgage tip. This is a topic that seems to come up a lot when I speak to customers. And I think a lot of people have this idea in their head and they like, they stick to it. They think that's the issue or the fact. So credit inquiries is what I wanted to talk about. A lot of people are apprehensive to have, their credit pulled because they feel like it's going to affect their credit score. So I want to kind of touch on that. Credit inquiries are when you're trying to secure a loan, rent an apartment, or even get a job. Your credit will typically be examined. And because credit inquiries are common, credit bureaus do not lower your score if there's a number of credit inquiries that are made while you're shopping for a car or a mortgage. Okay. The general rule of thumb is to avoid having more than six hard credit inquiries on your credit report within a 6 month period. And so, if for some reason your score is considered less than perfect and it's a lower score, and let's say you've had multiple inquiries within a 6 month period, more than six, and then you have more inquiries, well, it's going to definitely bring it down a little bit further, right? But if your score is, perfect, it's above considered middle of the road or less than perfect, you having a few inquiries within that time frame is not going to drastically bring your score down. So I just want to make sure that I throw that out there and let people know that there is a difference, and it's not going to hurt you. Now, the lender or the company that I work for, we have an ability to do a soft credit pull, meaning that it's not going to show up on your report as a hard inquiry. So that's one of the benefits that we can offer a customer if they are unsure of what their score is before they actually take an application. But I will also preface that in order to take an application and kind of see what your options are and where you stand in terms of a mortgage, a full loan application and us pulling your credit would be required. So I will have to make sure that I talk about that and let everyone know the difference. Another thing I wanted to do was just share a few tips for first time home buyers that are trying to get themselves ready and positioned. I would say first, build your credit. Make sure you save for a down payment, get pre qualified, and then make an offer. So, those are some of the tips I wanted to share.
Yeah, and I think the down payment is something where I don't know if the average first-time homebuyer really understands like how much money they need. They may think they need like 20 to $30,000. Like if you can just kind of give more insight about what that realistically looks like for a first-time homebuyer, because I can imagine that is pretty costly and it can be a little overwhelming.
Well, when as mortgage lenders, we look at three areas: income, assets, and credit. And with your assets, we're looking at what you have in your checking, savings, and retirement accounts to put towards the purchase of your home. Because, you know, you do need to be able to know that you have to put a little skin in the game, right? So we want to see that if for some reason we need to show that you need to be able to fill the gap and come up with whatever the difference is needed to purchase your home, that you have it saved, either in a checking, savings, or retirement account. Because with purchasing a home, there's other costs that are also associated that you need to be mindful of and be prepared for. So that way you're set up for success. So, for instance, you'll need to have money saved up because you'll need to pay for an appraisal. You'll need to be able to pay for a home inspection,
Hmm?
moving expenses, supplemental taxes that are associated with the purchase of your home. You would need to have money
Earnest money.
for your earnest money
Yeah,
deposit.
that's just a
So,
good, yeah, that's essentially just it's a good faith payment showing the seller that you are a strong candidate and you're interested in going forward with their
seriously
home,
buying the
like
house.
seriously looking to buy their home.
And
So,
all of those things are going to be counted towards your down payment.
yes, you
So,
don't lose out. Yeah.
correct. So, anything you're paying out of pocket, we're counting that and we're giving you credit for that. So, that's why having some money put aside to cover your down payment and closing costs is essential and will be beneficial for you.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Nishan, for that. It's
You're
super insightful
welcome.
and so helpful, I'm sure, not only to, me, but others out there. Even though I'm in this world every day, I still think you bring some really good things that everyone can benefit from. So anyhow, we are gonna wrap up episode 3, guys.
Thanks
We're on
for joining
episode
us.
3. I don't even know if we said that in the beginning.
It's
there.
Yep.
We don't even have to say it anymore
Because it's fall.
because it's fall, y'all, and
That's
we're
right.
moving on up with our production skills. We're not even talk about the struggle. Me and Nishan are on the phone at like 10:45 at night. Can't get this video to download, but
The struggle.
it's real out here in these streets, these Knoxville streets, these real estate streets, these lending streets. It's a street for everything, y'all. But I am your local real estate agent, Krista Leverett. So if you guys have any buying, selling, or investing needs, hit me up.
And I am your lending contact. I am Nishan Wright. So if you need anything in regards of financing to purchase a home or even to refinance, please contact me. I would love to help you, love to talk to you. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and join us next time on episode 4.